Okay, so I wanted to say hi to everyone and share a little bit of my story. Uh, Actually, I have been working on a spiritual program called White Rose Light Ascension program for already like 1.5 years, but sometimes things don't manifest so smoothly in life that sometimes there are delays and uh, but yeah, so life brought me here to Kauhajoki, and actually the reason why I ended up here was that I came to study some music here, and after that my partner Pate, he found a job here, so I kind of got caught in this Ostrobotnian city, It's quite far away from Helsinki actually, but because it's small and cozy, I have grown to really feel at home here. And so, yeah, actually, I wanted to share my story in relation to a question that often comes up when I tell about myself is because I used to live in Iraq for 7 years, or actually sorry, that I was like in a marriage with a Kurdish husband for 7 years, and from that time, about 2.5 years I physically lived in Iraq, and this is something that, of course, is something that many people don't understand. Like, why would I go there? What brought me, to that point that I went to such a strange country in one point. And there's also the story why I ended up changing my name from Anu Inkeri to Miriam. Actually, it's Artemis Miriam. So um, there was this situation that when I met my Kurdish husband, an inner voice told me to take a white flower from, it was actually somewhere close to the railway station of Helsinki. And I went to the train and I had this white flower in my hand. And when I came to Espoo station, I started to walk home, and I had my guitar on my back and this white flower, and that's when I met my future husband. Actually, at that time, he was not a practicing Muslim, even though he was from Iraq, where most of the people are Sunni Muslims. At least at that area where I was staying, almost everyone was Sunni. And at that time, I had already got to know Islam through another family in Ireland that I had really grown close to, and I had studied Islam, but from another perspective. It was another group called the Ahmadis, but in one point, my heart was already kind of like open to that world. And so it happened that we ended up staying together a long time with him, and the basis of our relationship was actually really a strong spiritual worldview and experience, because also, like, even though I was like really going into prayers and decrees and the violet flame and all those things, it was actually my future husband that had a dream about Hazrat Miriam. It's like the Mother Mary in Islamic terms. And so in this dream, Mother Mary appeared to him, and he was like, "Oh, you are Mother Mary, you are Hazrat Miriam. Do you know that Anu loves you a lot?" He asked her. And and it was funny because like what Mother Mary asked him next was like, and what about you, Bahtiar? Like, do you love me as well? And so my my husband said, yeah, of course, all the Muslims love you, you know, that of course. But of course later on, when we had our difficulties and arguments, that was far from the perception he had of me. So, but that was the basis of our relationship and the connection we had. And I really remember that I really trusted him. You know, like if there was a situation that I was in trouble, I knew that he would be really coming to help me if I was, you know, in trouble. So we had a deep trust regardless of our cultural differences. And this trust led me to also come to visit his country, even though I was really scared first time. We had twins actually, and when the twins were like 6 months old, we started to be really tired, and his family agreed to help us to take care of the children and also to give me some rest after this, you know, 6 months of taking care of these babies. And so first time when I went to Iraq, I just remembered like there were so many people and everyone was shouting like Miriam, Miriam, Miriam. And I was just going like, oh my God, you know, like, and I remember joking like Sapka po Kurdi, it's like talking Kurdish. And it's like, I had no idea what they were saying basically. But as the time went by, of course I learned little by little to understand them. And in one point, I grew to really love those people. And even now, like my children are now already like, they will be 13 this fall. And so they are with their little brother Hamelau now in Iraq, Yusuf and Lavi. And they really love that family. They have so many cousins, they have like a big family there. So for them it's the big highlight of the whole summer to be able to go to their home country, you know. But as for me, it wasn't such a smooth ride in the end of the relationship for when it came to culture, because I was very like open-minded, I was really like tolerant, but my husband's worldview was strictly Islamic, and he really felt somehow threatened by all my Indian gurus and things like that. So in the end, like my children have had just like a strictly Islamic upbringing. We divorced like 7 years ago, but it has been taking a lot of time for me to integrate and accept all that what happened actually. But what it has to do with this my spiritual program is that actually the reason what led me to become interested in working with the immigrants was actually also the feeling that, you know, our Western viewpoint is also limited, and I actually prayed from God to be able to work with immigrants, and that wish was granted. And also one time when I went to see Mother Amma, you know, also Bahtiar, my husband, came there, but he never went for the hugging, for the darshan, but still he was like hanging out there and looking around, and a friend of his also came. So once I was there and I asked one of the brahmacharinis that could Amma do some project in Iraq? Could Amma not like bring some nice project to Iraq to help the people and so on? And in the end I realized that Amma granted also that wish, but it was through sending me to Iraq. So I was that Amma's project in Iraq. And in the end I just, looking back, you know, it was like so beautiful, like how they took me. Of course I was like uh, wearing the hijab, I was wearing their dresses, I was not going around, you know, running around in miniskirts or something like Western stupidity. I had that respect for their culture, you know. And so actually I didn't like to be so much recognized to be even a Westerner. In the end I tried to kind of like, you know, be more, you know, invisible, you know, to strangers' eyes, you know, to dress up like normal there. And yeah, I was doing the household chores and whatnot. The laundry was actually one of my special tasks. The dishes, of course. Like, I was just a normal woman there. And but that experience kind of like yeah, I was studying Islam, I was studying the prayers, I was memorizing Allah's names, 99 names of God, you know, and all those kind of Islamic prayers. And we were practicing Islam. I was doing Ramadan for a couple times, and I enjoyed it. I have to say, I really enjoyed those things, you know. When you do Ramadan in an Islamic country, it's a totally different ball game than doing it somewhere in the West alone without support. When you do with a group, it becomes more, you know, a social thing. Everyone is like supporting each other. The food is cooked together. It's so much more like community, you know, minded whole, you know. And actually, that's what I miss sometimes in Finland, and that people are more isolated from each other. We don't anymore have that community thinking. And for me, like, there is a good side about that, but there's also a downside of that. Many people are becoming isolated and depressed these days. So, yeah, and another thing I really enjoyed about Iraq was that there was this kind of connection with the neighbors. There was always food shared for the neighbors. You know, everyone was tasting each other's foods. If the children didn't like the food cooked today at home, they would go to the neighbor. You know, we had some relatives also staying near our house, so that was so natural. Even I went many times to have dinner. They used to invite me to eat with them, and yeah, but I did some translation work there as well. Like, yeah, I was able to do also my own stuff there. And what was another really beautiful aspect of the mentality of the Kurdish people was that they were so hospitable that I was visiting maybe 100 homes, literally 100 different homes. There were so many relatives, so many friends. Always we were visiting homes. And in every place it was just this unbelievably warm welcome. And it was like I felt that I was really like, like honored guest, and everyone was kind of interested to hear about my experiences. And yeah, one time I remember I talked with one old man, and I think he had a problem with his feet, that he couldn't walk fine. And it was something so touching what he said to me. He said that, do you know, like, I think you're so lucky because you're able to live your life, but also come and experience our life. But it doesn't happen vice versa, that they are not able to come here and experience our lives. For them, it's so difficult to get a visa in the West. That those people who are in the West from Iraq and Iran and Syria, they are really, really fortunate and rich people most of the time. So that's one point. And many times it's also like the men who come alone here, and maybe later they bring their wife, but still, like, it's a totally different like atmosphere there in many ways. They are very traditional. I always say that, Kurdish culture is same like Finland maybe 100 years ago. There's still this huge respect about, let's say, the father in the family has really that respected role. And also the religion plays a big role. There are not so many like psychotherapists or psychologists. It's more that they go to ask advice from their religious leaders, like priests, imams, they say in Islam, they're imams. Kurdish people call them malas also. Mala, like Mala Ali, is one very famous healer. He used to recite the verses of the Quran when he was healing people. It's unbelievable actually what he did, Yeah, I saw these videos when he was healing people who like couldn't like talk, or they had been like possessed by some evil spirits, and they were just like becoming normal. Anyway, yeah, so my project that has to do with this White Rose light ascension program comes from this symbol of the white rose. And the white rose actually is the the spiritual symbol of Mother Mary. And for me, what I really loved about the white rose is that, you could think about the different petals of that white rose as the different religions and different worldviews of the peoples and different nations. And that, the white rose symbolizes the purity and the innocence that we should have always towards each other and God, and that is our uniting force, the uniting power to see the unity behind the diversity. And so I always actually I really love to wear the white clothes, but when I went to Iraq it kind of became impossible. But sometimes now I like to put on the white clothes again, just to remind myself of this consciousness. And today, I wanted to share a little bit of my story for you guys. For just, that we as Western people, we can sometimes question ourselves. question that, do we really understand and appreciate uh, other people and other worldviews? I know that, to be a devout Muslim or devout Christian, it is considered that it's actually, not necessary to, you know, mix your mind or your head about thinking about different religions and worldviews. And actually, my Kurdish husband, he used to say that, oh, Miriam, she's like, she's mixing everything. Like, she has this strange salad, that you are mixing all the religions. And I said, listen, like, I don't like a salad with only tomatoes. I like that there is a little bit of, peppers and a little bit of, lettuce and, little bit of nice sauces there, almonds maybe, whatnot, cheese, you know, that even in life, we don't want to eat only one thing, no? So, I think, in today's world, we are really called to, you know, to try to grasp the the innate value of all these different approaches instead of judgments. And I once gave a speech in one spiritual event in Finland, and I said that, to really start to understand Islam, you should have at least one friend who is a Muslim, and approach Islam through this person. Don't approach it just through, books. Approach it through the living person who is a part of that culture. And like, actually, also here in Kauhajoki, I'm happy because I have some new international connections. Aside from my partner who is like half Italian, so I have had this Italian influence in my life since the last 6-7 years. And then we have a beautiful family who, there is the wife is from Kenya and the husband is Finnish, and they are part of the Adventist church, Veli Lauri Kotilainen and Josephine, and they have 3 beautiful children. So they became my friends here, and now we have some beautiful friends. One is from Bangladesh, and another from Sri Lanka, and we're planning to start to have some kind of small food parties, like our local food parties. And also, of course, I have to mention that I have been teaching the Ukrainian people some Finnish language this year. So I have many close friends from the Ukrainian community as well here in Kauhajoki. Actually, today we just went to the swimming pool with the children of my close friend Victoria. So yeah, I really enjoy. Sometimes I feel like I'm more connecting with my multicultural family than the Finns themselves. This is such a funny thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to this short introduction to my life and my philosophy. And nothing is perfect in life. First, when I started to do this video, I realized I just had made a photo and I was already talking 10-15 minutes. So this is another video. But in life, we just have to go as it is, accept what is. And yeah, I just want to still show you this beautiful fountain that I have been looking at while I was recording this nice video. So have a beautiful day. God bless you all. Bye bye.